Good evening, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 10. I'm Yemaswati. But before we enter our news bulletin, here are top stories making headline. Mbali have begun the long journey from Mpisi Farm back to BULLETIN royal residence on the fourth day of the Mhlanga ceremony. African legends have begun to arrive in the kingdom in preparation for the African Carnival ESWATINI. The MVA Fund has donated 6 ambulances to the Ministry of Health to assist with the road accident victims. And now the news in detail. Mbali, led by Nkosatana Princess Sakizwe, have begun the journey from Mpisi Farm back to BULLETIN royal residence on the fourth day of the Mhlanga ceremony. We have a report. The Ministry of Home Affairs has released a statement stating that Ngome Zulu, lawyer for the jailed MPs, has been deemed an undesirable person and is thus not permitted to remain in the Kingdom of Eswatini. We have a report. The Ministry of Home Affairs wishes to state the following regarding the gazette that has declared Mr. Ngome Zulu undesirable and a prohibited immigrant in the Kingdom of Eswatini. According to reports, Mr. Ngome Zulu called a meeting where he told those in attendance not to attend Mhlanga. Furthermore, it must be noted that his call to boycott Mhlanga was a direct call to disregard a call made by the country's authorities, and thus acted adversely to national interest. And this was in violation of Public Order Act 2017, in particular Section 15, subsection 3b. Consequently, this led the Honourable Minister of Home Affairs to evoke Section 3 of the Immigration Act of 1982. The Ministry wishes to further state that Mr. Ngome Zulu is not a legal representative for the incarcerated members of Parliament because he has no rights of audience in the courts of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Henceforth, the decision to declare him undesirable will not affect the ongoing case at the High Court. This is a statement compiled by the Ministry of Home Affairs. For Channel Yemaswati News, I'm Yemaswati. Mbabane.
An energetic Mbali regiment marched from this farm where they have been cutting their reed yesterday to Mafutseni, where they showed that they have an interest in the march. Nkosatana Sakizwe had an interview with Channel Yemaswati where she stated that as Mbali regiment, they have been awaiting for the task ahead of them.
Ibutho linemandla ngathi nje leqala lelanga shuka kude lobonakala thiniwe cha ngithi vele besiulambele lo mkhosi loku si limete nje nginalanga ke bawo simaja vele nje ngentombi nathi sitintombi ke phaphinze simaja siyawalka vele inkosi size sifike la siyakhona nyalo nje sikhuluma sesifikile emafutheni sisuke sasuka lapha eMpisi Farm safika lana last hour fike siphumule khona bese sitaqhubekela empilo.
Ngosi boso luhamba nalo libutho ngosi sikubona kusuka endazi ngosi linjani libutho ikakhulu ekuphepheni nekuthi ke silibonile libutho lifaka emandla kakhulu ngathini emlangeni ngosi.
Hawu libutho liphephe kakhulu kude ngisho nayo inye inkinga lesihlangane nayo isawu futhi liningi kakhulu lize lingetekile onke lamalanga babalanze onke lamalanga ngoba vele imfombi tifuna ukuthi aye emhlangeni siyadikhutsata nato vele ukuthi atite kuhle lokuthi vele sibeke emasiko ethu embili.
Lameno nginene sibona sihlanganyeleke naleti vakashi letibuya khona event leBotswana ngosi ningathini Mhlobi kuloko.
Hawu siyajabula kakhulu kuba netivakashi nathi kusilethela nje umdlonga nathi sifunze ngamasiko abo nabo basifundise sibafundise ngala wethu kuhle nje ukuthi babe khona bongosi.
kwegcina Nkosi ungathini mhlambe kuyala ebuthweni kusayiwa ke Nkosi kuyophunyula mhlambe elangeni lakusasa kuyala ebuthweni Nkosi ngoba bese labanye bakhanza sebasethi indzaweni letinye Nkosi.
Hawu vele siyakhuthatha imbali ukuthi vele itiphathe kahle ingayi lapho lekungadzingeki ukuthi iye khona futhi ithathe isikhathi sayo ukuthi iphumulele ngelisomvo khona sitawugidza sitawufaka nje umfutho ilungise nemvunulo yayo vele kube kuhle kakhulu siyakhuthatha imbali ukuthi itiphathe kahle.
njengoba lishuphile manje lasula suka eSwatini lofika eMafuteni yalobe selitawushilida la ingabeze nasuka la kushiliden liyabiyela liyawokha sihlangana lapho amsakhe elitsitsina sineke singene kasonke kanye
kunjani ekutsinwa mfuni
kathina sina sabutheka
siyabonga
imbali ichubekile yatheleka esikoleni. The Imbali regiment continued to march to Engabeveni residents, where they also showed their energy by marching through to the Royal Crawl. They continued with their march from Kabeveni to Lutsitsini Royal residence, where they will be presenting the wreath on Sunday. Imbali is expected to have a rest tomorrow for the whole day. I'm Kimbal Mavuso for Yemaswati News with Justice Dlamini Lobamba.
African soccer legends such as Asamoah Gyan have begun to arrive in the kingdom in preparation for the African Carnival ESWATINI, where African soccer legends will play exhibition games against Eswatini legends. We have a report.
Wow.
Africa is united in Eswatini. This is evident as one of the greatest footballers in Africa, Asamoah Gyan from Ghana national team, the Black Stars, arrived into the country today to be part of the African Legends and the Africa Eswatini Carnival, which is expected to share culture amongst many Africans in various countries. Asamoah Gyan stated that he appreciates to see that Eswatini is open for people to come through and visit and experience the differences that we have as Africans and the culture that unifies us.
2010, we had a friendly game with them. Actually, I didn't play that game, because I was a bit injured, and secondly, I came for my personal stuff, So, yeah, I haven't followed the soccer team for a while now, but I'm yet to see. Yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. Sometimes we see our legends on the screen, and then we don't see them anywhere anymore. So we coming together to see each other. It's a great thing. It's a great feeling. Maybe some of the legends have seen me. I've seen them on the screen. We've never met in person. Maybe we've seen like afar. But this is the time we are coming closer to each other, and we are even making friends. So it's a great thing, and I think this should continue. And sometimes it boosts the spirit of these legends, because sometimes they feel they are forgotten. So when we come together like this, their spirits will be at peace.
Eswatini state that as a hub of many countries in the world, they will continue to work towards assisting for culture to be preserved in everywhere.
Phela vele lela kithi kuthiwa hlanganisa tive uyayathi mos lengoma le lela kithi hlanganisa tive nanyalo ke vele into hlanganisa le tive so silabe sihlanganisa nje kusasa.
So siyajabula kakhulu namuhla and sithanda nje ukuvumisa umsebenzi wentiwe ngiyo iAfrican Tourism Board kwekuthi kude lama legends ase-Africa lokuthi ukuthatha itourism eAfrica yongana ngoba ilegend yinye inebantu abaningi lebalandzelako.
Eswatini legends are expected to lock horns with African legends at the Mavuso Sports Center tomorrow, which will be followed by the tasting of various African dishes at the Carnival Festival, which will be also staged at the Mavuso Trade Center. In the show for Yemaswati News, Babane.
The Eswatini nation, along with the British High Commission in Eswatini, have congratulated Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II on the occasion of her Platinum Jubilee. We have a report. The nation of Eswatini, alongside the British High Commission in Eswatini, have congratulated Queen Elizabeth II on the occasion of her Platinum Jubilee, an event marking the 70th anniversary of her ascension to the British throne. Speaking in a speech commemorating Queen Elizabeth II, British High Commissioner His Excellency Simon Boyden spoke of how well-travelled the British monarch was, with Queen Elizabeth having travelled more widely than any other monarch, whilst also noting how vital having these visits were in building and maintaining relations with the countries being visited.
But of course, we're not just celebrating longevity. Her extraordinary reign has seen her travel more widely than any other monarch, undertaking over 200 official visits overseas, including nearly 100 state visits. I was very upset, actually, at my last position as ambassador of Mauritania. It's one of the few countries in the world she hasn't actually been to. And when I had the privilege of an audience with her and pointed this out, she said, yes, I'm not sure I'm going to get there, I'm afraid. She's visited all Commonwealth countries, at least once, some multiple times, acting as a unifying force for the Commonwealth family, as that family has changed and grown. She visited Eswatini, not in fact as Queen, but of course as Princess Elizabeth at the time, on the 25th of March 1947, when she, together with her mother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and Princess Margaret, accompanied their father, King George VI, to meet King Sobhuza at what is now, and subsequent to that visit, known as Hlangano, renamed in honour of the meeting place after that historic visit. Now, the UK this year, of course, the nation has celebrated the Platinum Jubilee with some gusto and over an extended period, including a 4-day weekend in June, where that remarkable milestone and her reign were honoured with a wide programme of public events, national, local, regional, mixing traditional British pageantry, and no doubt a few pipers.
For Channel Yemaswati News, I'm Pina Madonsela with Gary Carlos, Ezulwini. The Singapore MVA Fund has donated 6 ambulances to the Ministry of Health, specifically to assist road accident victims. We have a report.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed in July 2021 and the relocation of the EPR call center traffic desk to the SMVAF premises continues to yield good results. This was evident today when SMVAF handed over 6 ambulances, which are addition to the 2 donated last year to the Ministry of Health for purposes of assisting road crash victims across Eswatini roads. Delivering his speech, SMVAF CEO David Miani stated that the availability of modern ambulances equipped with the latest medical equipment and technology would enable EPR staff to get to accident scenes quicker and to handle the victims more effectively while transporting them to health facilities.
Previously, I think I've told this some time ago, previously would wait for an accident victim to come to the fund to register a claim, and that would happen any time within 2 years, which is the prescribed period within the legislation. But as of 1st April 2020, we made a change whereby we're now saying we will not wait for you to come to the fund to submit a claim. Now we'll start with you the entire journey from the moment you are involved in an accident to the point whereby you are now compensated.
Receiving the donation was the Director of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Vuse Makakula, who expressed his gratitude and stated that this will help government achieve the 2030 SDG, which targets to reduce road accident deaths by 50%.
Response is a critical component of the actions to undertake, as evidence has shown that most of the deaths occur in the pre-hospital phase of response. So, the prompt response of the emergency staff to any emergency occurrence is an essential element to saving lives for those who are in need at that particular time. The response seeks to set in place capacity for immediate attention and patient care must start on site with appropriate transportation with a medical equipped ambulance to a medical facility.
MVA also handed over 40 wheelchairs to be placed in hospitals. For China Yemaswati News, I am Demela and Lamin with Gary Carlos Babane.
Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade has released a statement stating that the Mavuso Trade Center, which has been used for the past 2 years as a COVID-19 center, has been officially decommissioned. We have a report.
The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade, the ESWATINI Investment Promotion Authority, and the Ministry of Health wish to inform the public that the COVID-19 health facility that was set up at the Mavuso Trade and Exhibition Center has been officially shut down. The facility had been housed at Mavuso Center for the past 2 years during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic and is now under decommissioning, and equipment has been relocated to various other health facilities in the country. Further to this, the ministry would like to inform Yemaswati that the country will not be hosting the International Trade Fair this year pending the preparation of the trade exhibition facilities for public usage. The 2022-2023 Trade Fair will be hosted in the coming year on dates to be announced. This is a press statement from the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade and the Ministry of Health. For Channel Yemaswati News, I am Temalangeni Dlamini Ngoyoyo.
The Ministry of Agriculture has today informed tractor owners who rent tractors to the government that the rent per hour has been increased from 420 Amalangeni to 480 Amalangeni. We have a report. The Ministry of Agriculture has today met with small business owners who own tractors to discuss the matter of renting these tractors to the government, with government informing the small business owners that they would increase the current renting price from 420 Amalangeni to 480 Amalangeni.
Kafishane nje la ema-hour labawalima eminyakeni ophelile aba ngetulu kwa-30,000 okusho ukuthi uhulumende wabhadala imali engetulu kwa-12 million emalangeni. Kuhle-ke lokhu ngoba lenye phela inhloso yahulumende ngekuthuma umfana wakhe longu-NMC ukuthi umnotho eveni ukhule aphinze nemisebenzi itholakale eveni. So le program lena-ke yenda leyo mandate yahulumende leyo. Kungako-ke nanamuhla sinabo la siyabukisana nathi khona tingcinamba letiba khona balimi bayakhala ukuthi asibakalimele kahle nabo bakhale ngokuthi balima kabanjiswana kahle. Namuhla ke sithi asithi sitoyicola kahle sibambisene nabo sithi singena la ekulimeni lonyaka singene sesibambisene sesikahle sikhona ukuthi kube betetho dinkinga.
Tractor owners welcomed this move, stating that they were looking forward to the increase in profit that they would see this season, as the previous season had not yielded them that much profit.
Profit last season. We hope this season, 420 last season an hour. Then now we'll mend this committee ushilo lo high we back 480 if I'm not mistaken. Logo sijabulele do nasikhalculate thile. Siye kuma dealers about diesel sabala tibalo sathi at least nasibala mbambe profit ungayicela kuyena nabangasibhadala 588 wemalangeni then ke lapho songakhona ku maintainer sikhulumba wanyala sikhona ngisho ku maintainer sikhulumba ngale mali singile sithola kule kanti inhloso yethu ukuthi si emparisheke ukhona nokuthola sikhulumba lesisha.
For Channel Yemaswati News, I'm Gina Madonsela with Gary Carlos and Thabo Spanze. The Eswatini Tourism Authority has pleaded with Yemaswati to take care of tourists ahead of what is said to be a very eventful weekend in the kingdom. We have a report.
Following that, the country will be hosting various big events which are most likely to attract tourists. Eswatini Tourism Authority pleads with Eswatini citizens to make sure that tourists feel welcomed in the kingdom. Speaking to Channel Yemaswati reporters, ETA's Chief Executive Officer Linda Nxumalo said, since the tourism sector is slowly recovering after being affected by the COVID-19 pandemic for the past 2 years, the nation should work with them in marketing and representing the country where
ngiyo key selling point yethu noma mhlawumbe info lesikhangisa ngelive ngakho ngoba live laseSwatini naligabe ngale culture iculture ehambisana nerespect bese sekuwonke sekuba ku amount to le please ne customer service nekuphatha kahle tivakashi so lokho ngilenye info lengithi mhlawumbe umva ngacela eMaswatini ukuthi asichubeke sijinge sitiphathe kahle tivakashi sivakashi nasisinye sitela khaya kuba nebantu labangu10 labasitakalako ngemsebenzi tsineke sibaka tourism sibuke ukuthi kule weekend njengoba nje igqwele kangaka ngemisebenzi mhlawumbe umva nje aqala kubonga ku private sector kulama events la khona kunebantu abakhipha imali tabo benta lama events ukuthi abe possible babeka lokunye eceleni banaka lokuthi basebenza lama events investment ke leyo i-private sector ke nalaba bemahotela bakhiphe imali double etiningi bakha emahotela bendela ukuthi nakufika tivakashi kusitaka live ngetindzaba temisebenzi nangetindzaba temabhizinisi ngoba phela ka tourism ngala ku upstream kubantu labanye bayaletha vegetables bayaletha tinsipho bayaletha nelinen yekuthi bagcebe imibhede yabo kwande emahotela uyakubona so lokho ngolo kwenta i-tourism ibe meaningful so kungaba nje kucela eMaswatini sakaqhubeke atiphathe kahle bangawa threatenish ema-tourists ngoba nangabe senda njalo sisho ukuthi live laseSwatini alingabi netivakashi alingabi nemnotfo
For Channel Yemaswati News, I am Temalangen Dlamini with Gary Carlos and Babane.
Nurture stated that it will be stationed at Lobamba during the Umhlanga Reed dance to counsel and teach Mbali on how to properly handle themselves. We have a report. The National Emergency Response Council on HIV and AIDS, Nurture, has stated that it will be stationed at Lobamba for this year's edition of the Umhlanga Reed dance to teach Mbali of the dangers of early sexual encounters, stating that they would not be alone, but would be joined by other organizations such as Swaga to counsel Mbali on how to properly handle themselves. Nurture also stated that they will not deny the truth that some of these girls may have already experienced sexual encounters or are sexually active, and would counsel them accordingly on how best to handle themselves and protect themselves in future encounters.
Imbali Yemaswati ibuyile yabuya ngebunyenti bayo kulandzela ukuthi iminyaka lemibili beyisoloko ita noma mhlawumbe umhlanga wenteka ngetikhawu noma ngetinombolo letiphasi kodwa ke sijabula ukuthi lo nyaka tinombolo tisetulu nekuthi ke singunature sitawukhona kuthola lithuba sihambisana nakhulisa umntwana khulisa umntwana ke ngephathini noma ngidawuthi sinini sethu lesisebenta kakhulu kukhulumisa insha nebantwana labasebancane ama-adolescents esigabeni semasiko lapho khona baye bavakashele imbali nanato futhi tingatsha ngesikhathi esayo incwala imbali lo nyaka sijabula kakhulu ukuthi sitabe sinayo ikakhulu siye sibe nayo elangeni lekuphumula lapho khona siye siyilethele tifundo lethambelana nekuthi engabe vele umuntu lomusha angakwati kanjani kuhlala ngentombi engangoba siyathi ukuthi imbali ayilali kodwa kulala umfati sibalethela ke tifundo letifana naleto ukuthi abakugwema kusheshe balale ngoba nato tinkinga lesibhekene nato kulesikhathi lesi ukuthi imbali siyibona isheshe iyalala sikhathi singakefiki nabalala ke bayakhulelwa sikhathi singakefiki nabakhulelwa ke bayaphuma futhi esikolweni nabaphuma esikolweni balahlekelwa likusasa labo kungako ke sithi siletha letifundo ukuthi imbali ayitinakelele imbali ayikwadi kuhlala ngentombi kodwa sithi leyo insha leseyiqalile kulala yona ayisebenzise kwekutivikela engani ngoba naso sisho sesilumbi sithi kungcono kuvikela kunekwelapha ngakho ke siletha tinhlelo ikakhulu letihlose ukuthi tisite bamfula basha ukuthi bativikele kuyo i-HIV engani ngoba siyatibona tinombolo Solomon tiyanyuka abantu labathola igciwane kabusha kodwa tinyuka kubantu labasha ikakhulu emantfombatane nabomama.
For Channel Yemaswati News, I'm Gina Madonsela with Temalangeni Dlamini, Babane. And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. But before we close off, here's a recap of our top stories making headline. Mbali have begun the long journey from Mpisi Farm back to Lutitsini Royal Residence on the 4th day of the Umhlanga ceremony. African legends have begun to arrive in the kingdom in preparation for the African Carnival Eswatini. The Ngabitelo MVA Fund has donated 6 ambulances to the Ministry of Health to assist with the road accident victims. With that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Thank you for joining us. We do hope you enjoy the rest of your viewing. Good night.